What's up, everybody? Here with Rad. We're at Jersey City at the Last Match Experience. Can you give me your name, your background, and like what role like you play in this?
Yeah, I'm Bull James, and I am one of the choreographers and bookers of the Last Match.
Awesome. So I think today like we interviewed like a lot of people a part of it, and like we've gotten a lot of different perspectives.
Sure.
So I think one thing I've noticed is everyone is like super excited. Everyone's like motivated. As soon as I walked in there, the vibe just felt like super positive. So my first question is like, what do you think is attributing to that? And then like from your own personal perspective, like how has everything been like coming together? It seems like it's been a lot of craziness and madness to like get everything right, but it also seems like everything is starting to really like dial in. So like, would love to like your perspective.
I mean, like if you look back at the shows we did in Jersey City, like the proof's in the pudding. It's a great show. It's proven, and now we're going to take it on the road, so everybody's excited, for the next installment.
Yeah, and then the music aspect is also very interesting, and I think when I first learned about it, that was the thing that really made me say, oh wow, like that's actually interesting. So like now that it's together, like how do you feel like that like marriage between like the wrestling and that aspect with like kind of the Broadway and the musical, like how has that like marriage been?
I mean, music has always been tied to wrestling, going back to the 70s and 80s when people started using entrance music, right? And then rock and wrestling, obviously, in the 80s when everything exploded. So there's always been that marriage there. I think now it's just something where this is kind of like the first time where they've been meshed together in this kind of thing.
Absolutely, and I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's huge, and the music is good. Like I said, everything about this has like come together so well that it's become a proven commodity. We ran 4 shows in Jersey City, sold all of them out, and now we're going to take it on the road and see what happens.
And then those 4 shows that you sold out, like how would you describe the audience that goes to those? Like,
they have the time of their lives. It was a mix of wrestling fans, a mix of theater fans.
Right, that's kind of what I'm curious about. It
Yeah.
seems like it is attracting like a non-traditional audience where you're gonna maybe get your wrestling purists and fans, but then you'll get the people who are not wrestling fans, but by the sheer nature of the music, they're gonna come and get exposed to the wrestling.
Sure, and then obviously the whole, within the story of the show is an education for those people, so that they're not like left out in the cold. They're not sitting there going like, what does this mean? What are they talking about? Well, like, I don't understand what's going on. Like they're being educated along the way, which is also a cool aspect of the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems that the actual narrative of like this show has a lot of emotion behind it. So like, can you like help me understand like that a little bit? Like between like the emotion and like the actual physical wrestling, what I'm gathering is it's coming together in like a really, in a way that is super organic. Like it feels like the story paired with the physicality of the wrestling, paired with the behind the scenes backstage, like everything feels like it's clicking. Mm-hmm. Like, do you feel that way too? And like, what do you feel like is also attributing to that, like cohesiveness?
Well, I mean, if you really look at it, right, it's got everything. You have a love story, you have a story, you have a protagonist who's a guy who's been wrestling on top for 30 years, and that's at the end of his road, right? Yep. Then you have the antagonist, who's an up-and-coming guy with an ego, right? And then you have some comedy mixed in, you have the music mixed in. So, I mean, there's something for everybody, and that's what makes it special, that's what makes it work.
And then like kind of looking forward to the tour, what is exciting you the most? Like, it seems that what I'm gathering from some of the interviews, like everyone is a mix of nervousness, excitement. Like right before the first show and the tour happens, like what do you think is going to be running through like your head and your emotions right before like the lights start and like everybody goes out there?
I mean, it's like anything else, it's another day at the office. This is what, as wrestlers, this is what we're going for. This is what we do. Obviously there's nerves involved and stuff like that, but once the show starts, like it goes away. You have to go out there and do your job and make sure people leave entertained and get their money's worth.
Do you feel like at that point it's kind of just, hey, all the preparation has been done, we prepared as much as possible, so then when time comes, it's just like autopilot and rely on all the training?
Totally, yeah. I mean, that's why we have these rehearsals. That's why we're here every day. Everybody's grinding, because when it's time to go, like there's no more rehearsals. Like it's go time. Like there's people here, they bought tickets, and we gotta give them a show, so.
And something I'm also curious about is when you go show to show, so you have the first show, it's gonna do whatever it's gonna do. Are there fine-tuned adjustments that are gonna happen show to show? From like, hey, the first show, this is what happened, maybe we could work on this better. Does that get funneled show to show?
Sure.
Or like, how does that sort of like feedback post-show get incorporated into the next tour date?
I mean, it's just, if it's something with one of the lines, you know, you make a note in your script and everybody just kind of is clued in on it, right? I mean, it's the same as, you know, guys getting ready for a WrestleMania match, you know, they're working each other on live events for months beforehand, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's kind of the same thing, right? Like, this didn't work tonight, maybe it'll work tomorrow, maybe there's something else we can do here, like, it's the same kind of thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple, it's pretty easy, you know, it's not like there's a huge catastrophe happening, you know, not where it's like,
Yeah.
we need new lights, we need, you know, it's no, okay, we have to fix this line here, this didn't really get a laugh, let's try doing something different here.
Yep.
Or whatever the intention is of that line or that scene, you know.
Yeah. Wow. So super. I mean, this conversation made me extremely more excited for the tour, quite frankly. So best of luck. I'm gonna hit you with a couple rapid fires, just
Alright.
some rapid fire trivia. So
I feel unprepared, I got like nothing here, you get a whole layup. You know?
but that makes it better because then it's like purely like off the top. What is your favorite meal?
Steak.
Any kind of steak? Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Just any steak. Yeah.
What is your favorite musical artist or band?
You gonna hit me with this and favorite movie and all the stuff that I have like 20 answers for? Oh man. So many, obviously AC/DC.
Oh wow! I get it. Yeah, true.
Biggie, Nas. There's a lot. I mean, there's so much. It's music, you know, like
Yeah.
there's something for everybody.
Something for everybody.
Everything for everybody. You know what I mean? Like it's tough. You gotta hit all these. You guys' favorite movie?
No. Who do you think is the greatest intercontinental champion of all time?
Ooh. Greatest intercontinental champion. Either Mr. Perfect or Roddy Piper.
Oh, okay. And then this one is going to be a little bit of a curveball. But if you had to create your Mount Rushmore of WCW wrestlers, who would be on like
WCW?
who would be on your personal Mount Rushmore?
Flair has to be there, right?
Woo!
Sting would have to be there. Are we going, like, what era of WCW now are we talking about?
I mean, any
Are
era.
we using NWA? Or are we just going from, like, WCW, like, specifically Monday Night Wars, or where are we going here?
I didn't have like any specific era, so it's kind of like for you to like choose any era and like plug them in, which I know is like subjective.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta go Flair, Dusty, right? Steamboat, Sting, with that kind of like, that takes it right. And then when Hall and Nash obviously played a huge role.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, you'd have to make an argument for Kevin Sullivan because he's the one that was booking the show and they beat Raw for 83 weeks, right?
Yeah. And
Killing me with this.
my last one.
This is gonna bug me now because now I'm gonna go back and think like the rest of the day, and I was like, I should, you know, I'm gonna forget people. I'm like, let's. Yeah, you gotta put DDP in. This is no, you can't do this. Is bad.
Your top 10.
Alright, and my last one for you is if you were in Triple H's position right now and you could craft the WrestleMania 41 main event, how would you go about that? Like, who would you put in that slot?
I think it's pretty obvious Rock's gonna come back for next year's Mania. It's just, you know, and obviously the segment they did with Cody, the Raw after Mania, would lead you to believe that Rock and Cody could potentially be there, right?
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, I think the other option you have is Rock and Roman, because that was the match that everybody was kind of promised and didn't get yet. So you can either have that Rock Cody match, or you can have Rock and Roman almost like a Avengers, like Infinity War Endgame kind of thing, right? Like
Yeah,
Battle of
maybe.
the Bloodline kind of deal.
Yeah, maybe, you know, who was the real head of the bloodline type, you know?
Yeah.
Because there was already kind of, you know, foreshadowing that tension a little bit.
Yeah,
Here and there.
I think those are your two most obvious options, you know, that are going to draw you what you want to draw for a WrestleMania.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it was a pleasure connecting with you. Can you let everybody know where they can find you on like your social?
Sure. Social media at Real Bull James. Follow The Last Match. Follow Outlaw Wrestling. Follow Battlefield Pro Wrestling. And catch us at a town near you soon.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Turn that shit up. Turn it up.
I'm with the radical. Yeah, I'm clavicle.
Let's get it.
She got attitude.
Goddamn.
On your avenue. I'm with the radicals.
Oh yeah.
Perry Saturn too.
Let's get it.
I gotta do. What I gotta do.
I'm with the radicals. Radical. Perry Saturn too. Perry. Benoit Guerrero too. With that Malenko dude. Let's get it. My shorty go like ooh when I'm in that. You. That's why I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm with the radicals. I'm radical. Feeling tactical. With Randy Savage too. Randy. The gratitude. Yeah, you acting kinda rude. Just the interlude. Let's get it. Don't kill the mood. Yeah. For the streets like food. Yeah. I'm with the radicals. It's sounding classical.